All right, Mr. Claxton's algebra students. Today we're going to be talking about a skill that many of you have learned throughout your entire math career, starting in middle school, I guess, not the entire career, but starting in middle school onward, solving for a variable. What you're doing is you're manipulating an equation to make it look differently. That's all you're doing for your homework tonight. I know the directions say to graph, but all I want you to do is solve for y. Solve every equation for y. So let's go ahead and get down to business. We've talked in class before about how to solve for a variable. First thing we need to do is look at this system of equations as two different equations. We have equation 1 in blue and equation 2 in green. Let's go ahead and attack equation 1 first. So in equation 1, what I'm looking for you to do is, first I'll rewrite my given information. After I rewrite my given information, I'm going to determine what inverse operations I need, and I need to do those in reverse order in order to solve for y. Right now, the variable I want to solve for is y, because I'm trying to convert it into y equals mx plus b form, so we can graph it very easy. In order to do that, I've talked about AMEP before, so let's use AMEP. Use AMEP. And what is AMEP? Well, AMEP is just PIMA. We want to use, to be grammatically correct, AMEP. AMEP is just the order of operations in reverse order. So can I add or subtract anything? Yes, I can add or subtract a 6x. So let's go ahead and subtract that 6x from each side. And I know some of you might know a quicker way to rewrite. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But for now, after I subtract x from each side, that's the golden rule of algebra, do unto one side as you do unto the other. It's going to leave me with 12 and then minus 6x. I could also say plus negative 6x, but that's not going to help me here. That will help me later. Then, after I've added or subtracted, can I multiply or divide in order to get the y by itself? Well, what's connected to the y? A 4. How is it connected? By multiplication. What do I need to do in order to undo multiplication? You're thinking it. I can hear you thinking. I really can. Divide. Okay? You need to divide the entire side by 4. The entire side. Both sides by 4. So after we divide each side by 4, I'm left with y equal to 12 minus 6x over 4. And if you remember, I've spoken with you before that while this is an acceptable answer, depending on the directions, I want you to write it in y equals mx plus b form. So my directions are a little more specific, and we're going to graph it. So let's go ahead. Remember, I want you to be able to graph it, so you need to divide both of these terms, the 12 and the minus 6x, by 4. So let's go ahead and do that. You know, if you are a person who has to follow every step, then you're going to write this as 12 over 4, and then you're going to write minus 6 over 4. Notice I didn't say 6x, I just said 6/4 x. And the reason why is because I want to look at it as slope, and negative 6/4 would be my slope. So if you're a person who follows every step, then you wrote that intermediate step there. You'll get 3 minus 6/4 of x. Oh, yes, 6/4. Not going to fly. I mean, you'll still be able to graph it, mind you, but not going to fly with me. We have a fraction to reduce. That's why I got so excited about it. Reducing fractions. Nothing better, really. I'm sure you could think of a few things. So 3 minus 3 halves just divided both the numerator and denominator by 2, x. And you might be thinking to yourself, Mr. Claxton, that's still not in y equals mx plus b form. Will you please reverse this? And in order to reverse it, we really have to think about this as an addition problem. We need to add a negative. Okay? Add a negative. Now, that negative can be right in between. It could be in the numerator, or it could be in the denominator. Here I'm going to put it in the numerator just to keep things a little more organized. And the reason why I have to think of addition is because the commutative property of addition holds. There is no commutative property of subtraction. So let's go ahead and say y equals, I have my negative there, and I can throw it out in front, negative 3/2 of x. So that's times x, right? I have my slope, negative 3/2, plus 3. And I'm set to jet, ready to roll. Boy, that's only one part. This homework's going to take forever. All right, so back up here. Y equals negative 3/2 x plus 3. Many people have asked me, do I have to have the parentheses there? You don't have to. I like to do it to make sure that it is separate. Definitely that x is never considered to be in the denominator. It is allowed to be in the numerator, but I want to see the slope here. So that's how you convert to y equals mx plus b form following every step. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to skip some steps in order to arrive at the answer. So if you lecture every step, here you go.